This is a dissection of the foramen of the skull. So let's break it down by bone. The occiput has 3 foramen. This big hole right here, guys, is the foramen magnum. Okay, foramen magnum. On either side of the foramen magnum, you're going to see 2 tiny pinpoint holes on either side of the foramen magnum. On the inside, right? Those are called the hypoglossal canals. Right, we'll see that the 12th cranial nerve goes through there down the road. So those are the hypoglossal canals. And then right above that, superiorly, kind of like a kidney bean, that is your jugular foramen. Right? One of the jugular veins goes through there. Right, so that's the jugular foramen. So those are the 3 for the occiput: foramen magnum, hypoglossal canal, jugular foramen that you're going to find. The temporal bone has 5 holes. The first 3 we're going to see here from the underside. Okay? So watch this. This was the styloid process. This was the mastoid process. If you just put your stick in between, right here, between those 2 structures, that is called the stylo mastoid foramen. Right? Stylo mastoid foramen. We'll see a branch of cranial nerve number 7 goes through there. But I'm not going to ask you that stuff now. Then go to the other side of the styloid process. There's a bigger hole you should not be able to put your stick through. That is called the carotid canal. Right? We'll see down the road that the internal carotid artery penetrates through there. Right? That's called the carotid canal. So it's just on the other side of this styloid process. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is the hole that goes into our ear canal. This is called the external auditory meatus. External, or your book says acoustic, right? External auditory or acoustic meatus. Either way. So those are the 3 that you're going to find on the underside like that. Now, if we continue, we picture taking that stick and pushing it through so that it comes out on the inside. It would actually come out the petrous portion like that. That inside stick is the internal auditory meatus. Okay? The internal auditory meatus. That's coming out the petrous portion. And then finally, the last one you want to find, go to the tip of the petrous portion, the very point. Oops, I just flipped up. That point right there. The next foramen next to it, right there, that big one, that's the foramen lacerum, right? And you should be able to put your stick through there. So go to the point of the petrous portion, and then you should be able to put your stick through. That's the foramen lacerum. That also receives the internal carotid artery. Absolutely. Okay. Foramen lacerum. The sphenoid bone has 6 holes in it. The first 3 you're going to find in the orbit. So I'm actually going to do it like this. The first one is the fissure that's on top. That is called the superior orbital fissure. Yeah, the superior orbital fissure. What's the one on the bottom going to be called? Inferior. Yeah, that's the inferior orbital fissure. So it's the fissure that's right underneath it. I don't know if I can see it from there, but that's a big one. That's an easy one. I'm sure students always hope I ask that one, is you can't miss it. Big fissure there. Again, a fissure is a slit-like opening. It's not round. So that's the inferior orbital fissure. Okay. Then, if you go to the superior orbital fissure, right above it and medial, there's a hole. I'm going to look like this for a second. There's a hole. This is called the optic canal. Right? The optic canal, we're going to see, houses the 2nd cranial nerve, or the optic nerve. All right, so that's the optic canal. All right, as you're coming back this way, you guys videotaping here, you can actually see the optic canal coming out under the lesser wing over here. So you can see it. You can see it both ways. Okay? So that's the optic canal. So those are the 3 holes you want to see in the orbit. 2 fissures and the optic canal. The last 3 holes are in the greater wing. So we want to remember R-O-S. Right next to the body is the first hole. That's the R. That's foramen rotundum. Right there. The foramen rotundum. Right? R. Then from here, we go down. The oval one is the ovale, where my stick is now. It's always going to be oval, so that's easy. If I ask you that one, it's a home run. Ovale. Like that. Ovale. And then the little hole right below it, right there, is spinosum. Very good. Spinosum. So remember, R-O-S. And they're all in the greater wing. Okay, you're not going to find them anywhere else. All right, so I'll do it quickly now. Where is it? R-O-S. Show you guys. R-O-S. And then one more time for you guys over here. R-O-S. Again, rotundum, ovale, spinosum. The last foramen you need to know for me, guys, on the ethmoid bone, in the cribriform plate on the top, you're going to see little pinpoint holes. So right here in the top of the cribriform plate, those are the olfactory foramen. Olfactory foramen will be right in here. These are a little bit tough to see. These hold cranial nerve number 1, right, for smell.
In the model, they're not actually holes?
Yeah, they're like little pinpoint holes. So they don't go through. Okay. And I did forget one hole that I should have started off with. In the frontal bone, the foramen that I want you to know is the supraorbital foramen, or it may be a notch, right? The supraorbital foramen or the notch. Okay? A little nerve called the supraorbital nerve that goes through there. Okay. So I think I got most everything. So we'll cut with that. Now